Hello and welcome to the Tech in the Hood podcast. I'm your host, Ahmed Flex Omar. Tech in the Hood is a storytelling podcast that explores the past, present, and future of Chicago's cultural identity through conversations about community and technology. Each week, I reconnect with the friends and mentors who have shared this journey and spotlight new voices and innovators building the future of the Tech in the Hood. Welcome back to Tech in the Hood, the show that brings you the intersections of art, business, culture, and technology. Joining me in the studio today is my good friend Malik Yusef. Malik, how you doing, brother?
Alhamdulillah, I'm well, brother. How about you?
I'm doing good, brother. Alhamdulillah. So you got so much out there in your resume and on the internet, so it's really tough, to do your biography. I mean, we'll probably need a whole show for that. But honestly, what I want to talk about is how we met, back in the day. I think it was on 2005 and South.
Was it 4 or 5?
Around there, around South Loop, in the South Loop.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. When South Loop was just getting, started.
Becoming the South Loop, yeah.
And, so time has, flown, but, a lot of people know you as a poet, artist, musician, humanitarian, veteran, also father, businessman, entrepreneur, technologist as well, and now you're also painting. So yeah. I would like to start actually on poetry.
Okay.
side, and I'm real curious to know, like, when did your journey in poetry begin?
I don't think there was an actual start to the poetry. I think it's always been in my mind, always been in my head. It's always worked that way for me. But I do think that there was a part of the journey that started my spoken word career, if you will. I was always able to write poetry, even accidentally, because of my neurodivergency. Everything wants to rhyme. For me to organize it like that, I organize it by kind of like rhyming, right? I organize my thoughts by rhyme and reason and song. And I was probably just like trying to write love letters to girls. And it came out like poetry.
I see.
And one girl told me that I didn't write the letter accent. She said, well, my friend said that you don't write poetry, so this is poetry. I was like, it is? She's like, yeah. I'm like, because to me, poetry was something that was like beatnik in a book. And this was like, I was writing spoken word. I was writing in my head speak, right? In my head voice. And it was more like prose almost. Spoken word, poetry, word, jazz, if you will. And then I wrote a poem to my mother, who was very, very abusive to me. The older I get, the more I look back and like, wow, that was unconscionable, what was happening in my household. And just like at every end, every emotional, barricade she could put up for me. And I just exploded in poetry one night. I was like 19, drinking with some of the bros. And I came in the house drunk and read the poem. It was probably terrible. It was written on a yellow legal pad. And it was like, man. And then after that, she used it against me every time she could. Like, I don't want to hear no poetry either, nigga. And I was like, oh, wow. And I was like, yeah, that was poetry, And from there, it's to start, like, when there was a funeral and one of the guys would get killed or something, I would do poetry. When somebody in the family would die, I would do poetry at the grave. And then it started being at the funeral or at the janazah. And a young lady introduced me to spoken word poetry, but I had never heard of spoken word. And I was able to listen to her, and she gave me instructions. Like, if you've been writing poetry, you should go say it at this place. A place called the Green Mill, where Al Capone was the proprietor at the time.
Yeah.
And it's rumored that there's an underground tunnel from downtown Chicago to the north side on Lawrence Avenue. But when after she told me that, it, you know how it is, like the power of linguistic suggestion. And so I start hearing the word different places, and I was at home looking at TV in the living room, and I saw Takia Crystal. Shout out to Takia Crystal, from In Living Color and from I think the Cosbys, but she's been in a lot of movies. So she's a beautiful woman, beautiful actress, just, you know, just an incredible person. And they were like making a big deal that she came to Chicago. They made a big deal out of it. And they asked her where was she going. She said, I'm going to Spice's Jazz Bar for open mic poetry and spoken word. I said, open mic? This girl told me about open mic. And now I'm hearing it again, open mic. I wasn't into music. I was in the hood, you know, just whatever. So I chartered a course to that. And I chartered a course to the Sunday night I went to Green Mill with Mark Sims, who invented slam poetry. And when I got off stage, said, can you come back next week? I said, yeah, I can come back next week. He said, can you be on time? Are you sure you can come back? I said, yes, sir, I can. And that was a Sunday. The next night, which was Monday, I went to Spice's. So understand the juxtaposition. Lawrence Avenue and Broadway, predominantly white crowd. Poetry was kind of stick poetry, kind of like entertainment almost. Some was heartfelt, obviously. And the contrast of Spice's Jazz Bar with all black people, you know, with locked hair, natural hair, you know. And I got a standing ovation in both places. And the next Sunday, I went back to Green Mill with Mark Smith, and I walked in, he said, good, you're here. Grabbed my hand and walked me to the front, and it was strangely lit up this time though, Flex, you feel me? Mm-hmm. Like lit up. And I walked past this big apparatus that said ABC Worldwide News, and it was a news camera. This is 93, you know what I'm saying? So I'm like, what the hell's going on here? You know, 20 years old, you like, what? And throws me on stage.
Before people had emails.
Yeah. Throws me on stage. I take out my legal pad and I read this poem called A Soldier Story. Mm-hmm. And 2 months later, it aired. So that was a Sunday night. The second time, that was my third time on stage. And then my fourth time on stage, Ted Witcher was hosting. Ted Witcher is the director and producer of Love Jones, one of the most famous movies about spoken word poetry in the world ever. And he saw me, and I was talking about love, and he's like, we want this, black love. And he went on to 4 years later, to produce Love Jones. Wow. And was gracious enough, shout out Ted Witcher, was gracious enough to include me in the movie, in the film. And I didn't have a big name yet, but I was, you know, when I first did the spoken word in front of him. But as my legend grew in Chicago, when he came back to Chicago, and I got up with Lorenz Tate, got up with Nia Long, Bill Bellamy, and kind of like formed a friendship with them. And I was on set doing poetry, and I was a principal, and they edited me down to almost nothing. So that's how the journey really started. And once the movie hit, I was already on Common's album. It was coming out. My City poem. So that was like a big deal too. That album went gold.
And you and Common have known each other for a while.
Yeah, we grew up together basically. He from 87th Street, where I went to school at CVS. So you understand, it was like all these convergencies of things that was from destitute to destiny, as it were. And just being in the right place, following the law's timing, Allah's judgment, and the commandments to serve and to be punctual, and all the things that we learn through the codum of how we serve God, which is through humanity. So servicing people has gotten me 900 times more than what my skill or talent or ability or money could have ever gotten me.
No, absolutely. I mean, that's powerful. And now celebrating 50 years of hip hop, right? And reflect a little bit about on that journey. Obviously, it's it's changed the world, right? Global movement.
Obviously, I was like just born when hip hop came out, but when it got big, got on the radio and what have you. But being from Chicago, it kind of didn't make it here through the airwaves because Chicago was reluctant to embrace it. But mainstream radio, some of the smaller stations took a chance on it. Mm-hmm. Some of the DJs took a chance on it. And I mean, without a birth through radio, it would have never been able to grow like it did. And do you guys understand the advent of MTV, where you could shoot a video? Where radio stations wouldn't play you, you could shoot a video. So shout out MTV. People talk about MTV a lot in a negative sense of what it did and what it turned into or whatever, and that's up for debate. Mm-hmm. But to have a music video, to see a song, you understand? Listen to what I'm saying to you. To see a song. To see a person's creative aspect of something that they born from themselves and to see a visualization of it was revolutionary. Because these were movies for us.
Right.
You from the hip hop generation, you feel me?
Their stories, their narratives.
It's our narratives, bro.
Yeah.
And it galvanizes a certain kind of a community to say, amen. I mean to that. Mm-hmm. I understand that. I'm not going through the exact same thing, but I understand that. Being a teenager and being able to see KRS-One and then go buy the CD. Tape at the time.
Right.
KRS-One is still, I would say, maybe my top MC. It's like I struggle between Hove and KRS-One. Mm. But Ice Cube made my favorite hip-hop song. Today Was a Good Day. I still think the greatest hip-hop song ever made.
Yeah, it's an incredible song.
It's incredible. It is, you can feel it in your spirit.
Yeah, there's so much energy in there. And so,
Come on.
It was like an anthem.
A day in the life of, man.
Yeah.
A day in the life of not just Ice Cube, but hustlers from everywhere. Mm-hmm. People trying to get it from the black market economy, the underground economy, the entrepreneurial, vestiges of a community that's bereft of resource. And you know exactly what that feels like. Mm. Didn't even see the berries behind me. It's like, the police didn't bother me. You see people all the time, you go to the airport, you travel a lot, and you'll see a white guy and they'll say, sir, can you take off your hat? It's a random, when he's coming through the, absolutely no problem. He's so American. And well, hip hop tells you that's not our reality. Mm-hmm. You can listen to it or not. We get harassed like that every day, so we're not happy to take off our damn hat at the airport yet again after a lifetime of taking off your hat, so to speak. And our white counterparts don't experience that, so they can't see it. Because you understand, racism in America is so American that they think it's American culture. They don't understand it's racism. We're arguing with people that don't understand that this is racism. They're like, this is not racism, this is American culture. Precisely.
Because it's institutionalized.
It's institutionalized, and they can't feel it. So you're arguing with them something, they're like, I don't feel that because I'm working in a coal mine. I don't have any white privilege. My sister is on welfare with 3 kids and I'm white. Where's my white privilege? Yeah. They don't have it, but they don't understand that. Try all those things while being black. That's all I'm saying. And you can say that gently to people, but when you're upset, you scream and you holler.
I mean, let's go back to MTV. Black music was not shown on MTV right away. And I know David Bowie lobbied for that.
Let me tell you something.
Yeah.
There you go. David Bowie. But he married a woman that was Somalian.
Yeah.
You understand? He had a friendship with her already, so he had another lens And then with Michael Jackson, when he transformed into a rock star, the radios didn't want to accept that. They wanted him to be, Frank Sinatra Jr., which what he was.
Right.
He was just little Frank Sinatra his whole career. Even took Frank Sinatra's producer, Quincy Jones. So the radio was like, we're not embracing this new hitting licks in the 80s. That's what it was, though.
Yeah. That's what it is.
So he's like, this is what's happening.
So you got the amps, and it's all technology,
it's
right?
All tech.
It's all tech of the day.
It's tech of the day. Come on now. You're a tech, flex tech. You know technology when you see it. Some people don't get to go another layer, right? But you do, I do, we understand.
It's physics.
It's physics. It's all physics. So they were like, nah, we ain't playing this on the radio. This is Michael Jackson, one of the most famous people in the world, famous since he was a little baby. They still said no.
Gary,
but
Indiana,
MTV,
next door. Yeah.
Gary, Indiana. Going back to Indiana. Shout out Jason Weaver. So he was able to say, there's a new thoroughfare. There's a new delivery system for this music. And he delivered Beat It to MTV. And that's what happened.
What a blockbuster.
What a blockbuster.
Yep.
What a blockbuster, bro. And then he gave him Billie Jean right after that.
Yep. And I copped that album and I was still in Abu Dhabi.
No way.
Yep.
You copped Thriller in Abu Dhabi? What? Oh, was no cursing on there. Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. He was saying sexual stuff, though. There'll be no darkness tonight, lady. I love
Nobody
you.
knew.
Got you.
Yeah, and there wasn't whole censorship or anything. And Abu Dhabi was a little bit more different than Saudi Arabia, at the time.
But still Abu Dhabi, though.
Yeah.
It's not like it's old Abu Dhabi. I've been to old Abu Dhabi. I've been to the masjid. I made a lot there. It's different than Dubai. Dubai is wide open.
Yeah, Dubai's
But Abu Dhabi, old Abu Dhabi, not new Abu Dhabi, which is like Yaz Island and stuff. I'm talking about old Abu Dhabi. It's still pretty.
Yeah.
I don't know. How did they get? You say they didn't know?
They didn't ban that album.
They didn't ban Thriller.
I got it.
In Abu Dhabi.
In Abu Dhabi, yeah.
That's some. Lady, our love will shine. And what about Thriller? I can thrill you more than any ghost could ever dare try.
That's right.
And it was not banned. That's interesting tidbit, Flex.
Well, Michael Jackson and his partnership with Pepsi took him all over the world.
Okay.
And that was like one of the biggest strategic, partnerships.
Yeah, it
ever.
sanitized them. Because Pepsi, you got to be squeaky clean with those brands.
Exactly.
It sanitized them. That's very intriguing. So you bought the Michael Jackson seemed, I was a little kid, but it seemed rather explicit to me. I was like ashamed to sing some of the lyrics, like, oops.
Oh, we didn't know what exactly, it was. We were just singing it. We were kids. We were just singing the music.
Yeah. So they let that slide in Abu Dhabi.
I mean, you also think about it. Our English is British English. It was different from American English. So it's not like we knew.
You're saying some real stuff right now.
What American, slang, entailed.
Those innuendos were lost.
And no, yeah, exactly, because you didn't know the code, per se.
The code.
Later on, it's like, oh, hold on a second.
That's the information. That's the argument that I have all the time with my wife. We don't speak the same code. I speak a different dialect than her. So therefore we clash. Yeah. And it's hard because, I love her and I love our children, but we don't speak the same code. She can't pick up on my code, those nuances,
Yeah. It's just like technology. You can build an app with JavaScript, or you can build it with Python.
Yeah. That's interesting when you talk about hip hop, because Michael Jackson used rock music as a backdrop for this new fast street style, break dancing. All those things are elements of hip hop.
Right.
It's not just the music. It's not just rap. Rap is a part of hip hop. The principles of hip hop are b-boying, graffiti.
That's right.
Don't forget
art is a big part.
Come on, man.
Yeah.
You see why I stopped on that graffiti.
Mm-hmm.
Graffiti artists are hip hop, bro. It's part of hip hop. I mean, obviously people have been writing on walls since Gobekli Tepe, prior to that even, you know. We have been expressing ourselves through art as human beings. But this more verbose, loquacious style of music is the music is the backdrop and the words are at the front. It was crazy. It was like, well, hip hop artists aren't musicians. Okay, let me tell you something. You know how hard it is to rap? To rap good? It's difficult.
Mm-hmm.
To be a good rapper is difficult. Like, all you doing is rapping. All you doing is rapping. Try that technology. Try switching your brain to rhyme on certain times and cadences and measurements and measures and bar count. And end right at this rhyme scheme right here before the beat breaks. It's not easy.
Yeah.
They want to trivialize it,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and minimize
they'll say,
it.
it's rappers can't sing.
Exactly. And diminish it.
Yeah.
Well, you know, singers can't rap. Well, let's say that, but some can.
Mm-hmm.
And singing is not being born with a voice doesn't make you a singer. It's people that I promise you, in 3 days, they're gonna go to any church in America and sing the paint off the walls, and then go to the telemarketing job on Monday.
Mm.
Having the talent does not get you into this industry. It doesn't promise you anything. Nobody's looking for talent. Talent is everywhere. It's tremendously, abundantly available. And that can't be what you tell me. Now I have to go do other metrics to see if I want to work with you. Are you likable? Do I like you? Do
Mm-hmm.
I want to struggle to deal with you and talk to you? Are you talented enough to make me deal with your toxicity? Maybe, maybe not.
It's a soft skill.
That bedside manner is what makes me want to work with you or not. Are you teachable? Are you prone to instruction? Are you coachable? So hip hop had to go through all these growth spurts and these periods, these awkward stages and so on and so forth to become the global force that it is now.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and
now, would you say Drake is kind of like the Michael Jackson of this generation's era? Where would you put him, because he's very, very popular right now?
I told the artist formerly known as Kanye West, now known as Ye, and I've been calling him Ye for years. People see I put a post up where I said Ye, and it was like 10 years ago. Mm-hmm. People were like, Malik said Ye, but a lot of people call him Ye anyway. But anyway, I told him, I said, man, you know, Drake is on his way to being the biggest rapper. I would say, as far as popularity, I would say Jay-Z and Drake are right there.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if you had two rappers to pick a party from, you would, if Jay-Z had a party, you'd probably go to his party first because of his cultural influence and his skill level is just tremendous. Me being able to tour with Hov and see him every night, flawless, you know, and him letting me go on stage and throw the rock up, that was a blessing. I appreciate him and Vic Mensa, the whole Rock Nation staff for embracing me and letting me tour spoken word through 30 venues with 30,000 people in them. It was crazy. Standing ovations was a blessing. You would probably go to where Hov is said go to. And then secondly, you go to Drake party. And if you had a tertiary party to go to, you might try Puffy, you know, and that's it, right? I mean, everything else is up for grabs, you know.
Right.
But those three, you know, Puffy was a Michael Jackson figure for a minute. You people don't remember when Puff came out with Mace and how impactful that was on hip hop, man. You can't downplay the shiny suit era.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know, shout out Puff, you know, with all the tumultuousness around him, Puff has treated me incredibly well.
Yeah.
I appreciate him. Big brother and me through some of this stuff. It's hard to navigate through this maze. It's a labyrinthical thing because it's ever changing. The relationships change and switch daily, and you have to be able to adapt. And you know, also Hov, Big Bron, you know, and then Drake, Lil Bron. I've got a couple songs with Drake. And Drake, I love Drake. You know, you're going to see Drake, you know, and I said, Drake is going to be a superstar. When we did Find Your Lovin', and I told Kanye,
that was a great song.
Thanks. Thanks. We wrote it for Rihanna.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
We wrote it for Rihanna. Drake came to Hawaii.
Uh-huh.
I was sitting down looking at this particular architect that I like. I was on No ID's computer looking at certain artists who are architects I liked. And I was like, man, got to get this house built for my wife, whatever. And he's like, that's your house? I say, that's the architect I want to use. And I was doing this big deal with Kanye for this MPC app. We were doing this like an $80 million deal or something crazy. Like that was going to be worth like $300 million, you know. But you never get business done with Kanye, obviously. But it was coming. And Drake said, you got some music? I said, yeah, what we got on here, No ID? We played Find Your Lovin'. And it wasn't in Rihanna's voice. It was in somebody scratched it. I don't know if it was me or Kanye. I forgot who, or maybe somebody else. Maybe a girl scratched it. But I think she demoed it. But man, when I tell you that Drake heard that song, was like, I love this. So I was like, bet. So I went to the back. I told Ye, I said, look, bro, Drake loved this. He's like, what song? I was like, Find Your Lovin'. He's like, no, we wrote that for Rihanna. And No ID produced it, I believe. And he was like, no, that's for Rihanna. I said, no. He's like, that's like a dress for a woman. I said, well, let motherfucker wear a dress if they want to wear a dress, bro. What you talking about? Like this, you know, you could flip a dress. Michael Jackson crossed the aisle on fashion way before, you know, and then way before him, James Brown, and way before him, you know. Sometimes the women's stuff be way flyer than the dude stuff. All you got to do is take it to the tailor and get it. You know, it's like let them tailor that joint. But as I have grown in my understanding, Drake wanted to seem vulnerable. He wanted to say that because you go back to R&B, you know, and it was like, you know, Zapp, you know, Roger Troutman and Zapp. I want to be your man. That's vulnerability. I want to be your man. So that part of it is where Drake saw the sensibility. And that's the same reason why Rihanna didn't want to take the song. She didn't want to seem that vulnerable. But she's saying, I'm treat me special. Yeah. And she's begging to be treated special, which a lot of us wind up doing. Treat me, can you adjust to me somewhat?
Yeah. And the way Drake sang that song, bro, I'm more than just an option.
Hey. I might add that to my set tomorrow.
Yeah.
Just so people, because people don't know I wrote that song.
No, I had no idea.
Well, co-wrote, because I never have written anything by myself for Kanye.
Sure.
One, I think I have no songs that I wrote the whole thing for Kanye. You know.
And let's talk about the. I mean, obviously you're accomplished, you know, songwriter, and if you won, you know, Grammys for that. And speaking about, you know, the art of, you know, songwriting, you know, there's collaboration in there. And earlier we're talking about Rihanna, you know, that song, All of the Lights. Man, tell us about that one and kind of give us kind of like a glimpse into like the songwriting world.
Oh, so songwriting is relatively easy. Relatively. Song placement is the difficult part.
Got it.
The mechanical, industrialized part of it is very difficult. But, you know, songwriting is relatively easy except working with Kanye. Working with Ye is inextricably, you know, linked to your childhood traumas if you've ever had any. He will haunted house them up out of you. He will bring forth all your self-loathing, self-hatred, self-doubt. He likes that wickedness. He loves it. He lives in that space. He lives in a dark. I live in a dark space too because I write dark music. You know, listen to Sandcastles. It's very dark. I've used a lot of minor chords to write with. You know, even my happy songs are dark. But Kanye lives in a different space. He lives in turmoil. He loves, if everything around him is in turmoil, then he's at calm. If everything is calm, then he's in turmoil. He can't take it. He can't sit there. It may be ADHD, could be just his own personality, his disposition, I don't know. So you have to go in prepared to battle the elements. You have to address the elephant in the room. The elephant in the room is that Kanye is prepared and wanting to say no to everything you do. He wants to say no. And he wants you to do exactly what he wants you to do, but that doesn't make for a good project. Following Kanye's instructions explicitly doesn't get you anything. It's the strife, it's the friction, it's the tug of war that exists between geniuses, if you will, because Kanye is a genius.
We're back to physics again. It's almost like kinetic energy.
It is kinetic energy. He needs it to be wild. He needs it to be wild. He needs it to be shit crashing, people crying, people disappearing, people tapping out. They can't take it. They got to go back to London. He needs it to be that for him to feel anything. And he needs to say no a bunch of times. He needs to say no. And I mean, I'm talking about he needs to have emphatic no's. He needs to be like, no. Because we're working on All the Lights. Well, it used to be a song called Ghetto University. And I liked it. It was like, but it had this sample in it from Muhammad Ali. Boom, 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 boom. The champ is here. Boom, 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 boom. I said, the champ is here. And I'm from Chicago. You know, my name is Malik. Going to Mas Miriam, you know, when I was a kid, and knowing that Muhammad Ali was a black man that said he was beautiful. Now, of course, in Africa, people think they're beautiful, but in America, you were told you're not, that this is not pretty. He said, I'm pretty. Oh, I'm pretty. To a 3-year-old kid, hearing a black man get on TV say, I'm pretty. That this is beautiful. And then saying Assalamu alaikum and having the name Muhammad Ali, and my name is Malik Yusef, which is would seem weird in America. He was a prophet almost to us. So I still have that, like Mustafa, one of the brothers, he's a DJ Mustafa Rocks. He has a picture punching Muhammad Ali in the nose on the front page of the Sun-Times when he was little. We birthday twins, me and Mustafa, born the same day. And to hear Muhammad Ali's voice at any time, I got a chance to meet him, obviously, and take a picture with him and all those things like that, and to know him a little bit as an adult. You feel me? It was great. And me and Mike Tyson talk about him all the time. Shout out Mike. What's up, Ak? It was hard for me to not love that part of Ghetto University, even though it was the horns. Burn, 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 burn. The champ is here. Burn, 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 burn. I say the champ is here. Burn, burn, burn. It was like, I'm gonna write this song with this Muhammad Ali sample on it. This is crazy for me. So I wrote everything I could around that, you know. I took the champ is here and let it stick in my mind and tried to write with that. So I was like, you know, saying all these different things, but he kind of had the song he thought it was going to be the single because he was mad at everybody in LA because I think the Taylor Swift stuff had happened. So he was mad that Gaga took him off the tour. Then Cudi got kicked off for swinging at somebody or something. So it was like Kanye felt attacked, you know. And in some ways he was, but you know, also I think he can't see that he attacked Taylor in a way. He told the truth that Beyonce had that song. Not sure if he needed to take up for Beyonce. That's still, the jury's out on that for me. I'm like, I don't think you should have did it. You know, I don't think it was necessary to do. But for him it is, because he needs to be a contrarian. He needs to make everything go poof. He needs to blow it all up for him to feel any kind of comfort.
So almost to feel like a volcano.
Yes. And I mean, that may be something that makes him dope. That may be something that makes him not dope. I don't know. It's him. But that's what he likes to do, you know. He don't want therapy. He don't want to change. He likes being that way, and that's fine. Be who you are.
I've never met an artist with zero demons.
Right, that's not possible.
I've never met a human with no demons.
Welcome to Earth.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, so he had this song called "No More Parties," and it was like, had a sample. It was, "Please, baby, no more parties in L.A., Los Angeles." And I was like, man, this is called. He's like, this is gonna be the single. I was like, we battle about these things. You know, when I said that Gold Digger was the single, he was like, negative, no possible way. I'm like, oh, and it's always a battle. And I understand him. It's his album. It's not Malik Yusef album. I'm not signed to Def Jam. I'm signed to Good Music. I'm not signed to Def Jam. I'm here with Kanye. I'm here to support Kanye. You know, my Universal deal it turned into a publishing deal, not an artist deal anymore. So I'm here to kind of pillar this, bruh. You know what I'm saying? So, but I'm still gonna say what I think is right and what I think is dope and what I think is cool. And that's what he don't want to be. He's like, I don't want to be cool. I want to be disruptive, and I understand that. So both those things work together. Now, so I started writing that, and I was like, please, baby, no more parties in L.A. Won't catch my Ferrari parked in valet. I can call the rep and Ricardi the chalet, mixing the light and the dark like Halle. Los Angeles, please, baby. No, people like, oh, that's hard, Malik. So I was like, okay, cool, let's do that. And Kanye was like, okay, I like that. Let's try to simplify it. Let's try to tug on it, see what we could do, make it cleaner. What's after that? And I was like, okay, cool. This is Kanye's way to try, push all envelopes. But everything my spirit was saying, and I be knowing that spirit when them Swift Angels come with that message, I'd be like this, because the Muhammad Ali thing drew me in. But I couldn't land it. And he was like, no, that's whack. No More Parties in L.A. is the single. I'm like, well, what about Ghetto University? So I had one thing, I was like, it's like, the champ is here, I say. Big man on camp, big man on, head nigga in charge, big man on campus here. I'm taking off like the ramp is here. The hero is the one in the dampest gear. I'm wet here, then the atmosphere don't enter out. And then some Ghetto University or something, right? He was like, nah, it's whack. I was like, that's not whack. He's like, yeah, it's whack. Head nigga in charge, big man on campus here. Anybody can say that. I was like, yeah, but it's the way we saying it. And with that sample, he was like, nah, that's not live. Like, you gotta give me something. If you want that to be the single instead of this, there's no more parties in LA. You know, won't catch my Ferrari parked in valet. Like, I'm gone. He's like, that's the feeling. I was like, yeah, you might be right. I'm not doing enough to prove it. Because he's right. That sample, that hook is better than this hook. Even though Big Man on Campus here is an homage to Kanye's entire aesthetic. College dropout, head nigga in charge. Big Man on Campus here. Top off, take off like the ramp is here. It's like, you know, college girls, top off. I was figuring all these allegorical components and double entendre. And he was like, nah. So we got into an argument, as always, but another big argument. He was upstairs with Rick Ross and Mike Dean. And was it Hit Boy maybe? I don't know who else was up there, but I go up there. The Haiti earthquake had taken place, and a lot of lives were lost, and obviously government. So Quincy Jones wanted to do a reboot, a modernized version of We Are the World. And Kanye couldn't leave because we were working in Hawaii, so he flew a camera crew out. And Kanye did a verse. We wrote this like little cool verse or whatever. I didn't really love it. It was quick. We were working on the album. Kanye wanted to get it done and get the camera crew back out of there. And of course we had Ross. And this we were doing Monster, and we was doing Fast Life. I think it's Fast Life. Live Fast, Die Young. You know, so we was writing that for Ross' album. Well, I think it was for our album, then Ross wanted it or whatever. So at the end of the verse that we did for Quincy Jones, Kanye said, everybody pitching in, yeah. I was like, man, this. And obviously I'm already upset with him because he's not going with me with Ghetto University. So I found a little chance to take a dig. Like, that's whack, which it was. But nobody gets it perfect the first time. So I'm like, that shit whack, Joe. He's like, what? That's what white people say. I said, nobody says pitching in. No, no rap songs. Like, this is white people, bro. I was like, no, it's not for white people. This is for the audience. Our customer is not that person that would say pitch it in, bro. Our client, because we built this client for what good music represents. And I was like, think about our clients. Like, man, I don't get my clients. I was like, all right, cool. So Rick Ross was like, Malik, don't even argue. Everybody was like, don't even argue. You're not going to. I used to do that with Tupac, argue with him. And that was one of the demise of our relationships.
With Tupac?
Tupac relationship, yeah. You know, I'm trying to be, you know, a drill sergeant to him. I'm trying to tell him, you're going to get yourself killed. He's like, I don't care about dying. And I'm not understanding that's not a threat for him. And it compromised my relationship with him, me always giving him orders, barking out orders to Tupac, a superstar. And I'm just some dude on the street. I wasn't really even doing poetry yet. You know?
What year was this?
This was when we first met, when I was like, when he came home from jail. So I was like, I was doing poetry, but that's it. I wasn't doing music. Because Tupac died before I ever had my first song come out.
Wow.
Peace be upon Pac. Yeah, still hurts. Yeah. That's why I got my little beef with Barack Obama from, over Tupac. Or me trying to fly to Vegas to see what happened to Tupac. He's like, man, ain't nothing you can do down there. Go get yourself killed, go to jail. But he said it rude to me. But anyway, that's a whole nother story with me and Barack. But so I was like, okay, people always be telling me to chill. I go too hard. I drive too hard. Okay. I said, well, I'm going to go downstairs and work on the single. He's like, what single? I was like, Ghetto University. He said, that ain't the single. The single is No More Parties in L.A. I said, well, I want to work on Ghetto University. He said, okay, go down there and work on it. And if you don't nail it, that song is off the album. Now, you know, we can't lose Muhammad Ali. I'm like, oh, shit. Okay, so I go downstairs. Now he's gave me the ultimatum, which that's the corner you get painted to. You don't want that because he's serious when he say that. It's like, I'm done arguing with you, boy. It's not happening no more. I don't want to have no conversation with you about this. So he said, what's off the album? It's his album. So I go down there, and Drew is down there. Now, we've been trying to nail the hook the whole time. I had Elton John there. Him and his husband was there, and his husband was being bogus. And we was able to, his husband, it was Elton John's birthday. I didn't know that. Sir Elton John, his birthday, he at the studio with us in Hawaii, and his husband, I overheard him in the lobby area with some of his other friends that had traveled for Elton John because he was performing his tour. He's like, that's just where I want to be on my husband's birthday with the rappers. I was like, oops. I dipped, went back in the studio like, man, I'm sorry, bother you, Sir Elton John. Happy birthday. He's like, oh, thank you, man. Oh, thanks, man. I said, I'm Aries too. He said, oh, okay, that's amazing. I was like, your husband is ready for y'all to go. He's like, how do you know that? I was like, he was saying that it's your birthday and he don't want to be with the rappers. He was like, he did? Where's he at? I said, he's in the lobby. He said, okay, well, how far? All the way? He said, yeah. He said, okay, lock the door. So I locked the door. We brought all the keyboards out. Now, you can understand people was already making fun because I was trying to get Elton John to go in. Kanye brought, well, Mr. Hudson, shout out Mr. Hudson, brought Elton John out. We tried to get a hook, and he's like, I tried to tell you, but all I could say is, oh, people was laughing. I was like, y'all do understand this is Elton John. Yep. Why y'all laughing? Because he didn't nail a hip-hop hook. Y'all do know this is that dude. I mean, that nigga right here, he in your face. This man can bend the keyboard. Legend. He can bend it, bro. Mm-hmm. So we kept that part, and then Cudi had left, and he hit that good, which I didn't like that much. You know what I'm saying? And me and Cudi have a strained relationship, and I love him because he's a brilliant artist. But as a person, we'd clash. I'm not the type of person for him. You know what I'm saying? So we clashed, and that day we clashed on something, and he called Kanye, and we was in the Elton John concert, and Kanye was like, come here, Malik, man, you can't be getting into it with Cudi. I need Cudi. I said, you need me too, though. He's like, but Cudi's a star. I said, I'm a star. He said, but he's signed to a label. I need him. I said, so I'll leave. I'll leave for why? He said, no, I don't want you to leave. I want you to apologize to Cudi. I want you and Cudi to make up. I said, I don't have a beef with Cudi. He has a beef with me. Different. But Cudi also doesn't want to be controlled and want to be told what to do. And that's kind of how I'm trying to bark orders at people. I'm still learning. You know, can't bark orders at people, even if you think it's the best thing to do. People, they where they are. And I was like, I don't want to repeat a Tupac, you know. So all that happened. We had all that in the hard drive. So this is my last chance. So I told Drew, I said, Drew, bring up everything. I'm listening to all this concatenation of sound. Cuddy trying to do a hook. This person doing a hook. Elton John on a hook. But that day when I had Elton John locked, when he had the door locked the door, I brought out all the keyboards. And he played on all the different keyboards. So we had different sounds, different layers of sound. And I started listening to that. And the spirit hit me and said, lose the Muhammad Ali hook. Lose the sample. I was like, what? Lose the sample? Who said that? Like, what the heck? It's like, yeah, lose the sample. I was like, no, I can't lose the sample. That's the song. Like, that's not the song. Lose the sample, Malik. I mean, literally, just like I'm sitting there talking to you, it's like, lose the sample, Malik. It was like, you know, it was like Titanic. She let Jack go. That's what it was like. And it physically hurt me.
Yeah.
To lose this man's voice. This giant of a man who made black beautiful and Islam acceptable. What? No. I can't. I'll do anything not to lose that. The Spirit said, lose it. So I said, Drew, take out the sample. He said, which sample? I said, Ali. He looked, he said, you sure? I said, yeah. He took it out. The track breathed it a little bit. I said, let's slowly add in some of the keys. So Drew's brilliant engineer and producer too, cold, period. A lot of stuff for Childish Gambino, obviously a bunch of Ye stuff, and so many people. And there's a law in songwriting. When you get a block, think about everything else but the song. So I started thinking about my oldest son, Jabril, and his first words were light. Ooh, Daddy, look, light, Daddy. I was like, man, Jabril. I started thinking about Jabril. That's just his first words came to my mind, light. I'm like, yeah, start going through the chronological history of my son, basically, of being a father to him and being a single dad and struggles of that. I'm thinking, I'm feeling all these things. And then I'm like, light is a very powerful word. Sunlight, moonlight, starlight, flashlight. And the song was playing. I was like, it's like all of the lights. And it was like right in that part. I was like, wait, what happened? I said, hold on, go back. He said, what? I said, just play it again, loop it. All of the lights, all of the lights. Last night. And I had stripper light in there because I know Kanye loved him some strippers. But Kobe Bryant's wife, peace be upon Kobe, man. Little bro, I love you, man. And Vanessa was like, I got daughters, I don't want to hear stripper light every time I play a song on the radio. So Kanye was capitulate. I was like, I don't care. Stripper light is fresh, because what's stripper light? It's like all the lights itself in the strip club. It's all of the different various lights. I went to a strip club a couple times in my life. Dated a lot of strippers, but I dated more strippers than I have been to strip clubs. But I do know that ambiance is something about that. You know what that means. You can feel it. It's tangible. But she took it out. But when we first made it, it was in there. It was like stripper light, strobe light, search light, green lights, lights. I put about 80 lights in there. Bro, I was like night light.
As kids would say, it was lit.
It was lit. So I put like 1 billion lights in this song. All of the lights, all of the, that's light, that light, brake lights, front lights, light, light. I just went crazy, and I was like, I got it. Like, this is it. This is what it's been trying to say. So I went upstairs, and I told Ye, he was working with Rick Ross still, and he was still mad at me for saying that verse was whack. And he know it was, though. That's the crazy part. He was defending it because he says for white people. I was like, what white people you know want to tell me the white people that say pitching in? Let a camp counselor, everybody got to pitch in, maybe that, but not in music life. Come on, stop playing. So anyway, he was still mad. I said, I got it. He said, okay, I'm finna come down there, and if it's not it, we're not talking about this no more. Only work on No More Prize in LA. I was like, no, I got it. Jeff Basker's in there the whole time. Shout out Jeff Basker. And shout out Jeff Basker, his mom. I met his mom. Jeff Basker's a mean cuss, hard to deal with type of person, but he's so talented. You know, I love him. Every now and then I'll text him. He won't text back, but you know, he's rich and famous, so why would he text me back when we probably weren't the best of friends? In my mind, I loved him, and I probably was hard on him too. But so Kanye comes down. He plays all those different lights. He plays all the lights. It's like, oh boy, I put every light you could. But I say I didn't miss a light, bro. Traffic light, like flood light. I went crazy on the lights, bro. I went full brazy on the lights, bro. And you know, my neurodivergency don't let me know if I'm doing something socially unacceptable. It's just like, do this, Malik. How about this? This is creative. And it's like, well, this is overkill, bro. You tweaking. I can't tell though. I can't tell where I'm at. You know, in a event, I don't know if I'm too much, if I'm overdoing it or whatever. So I just kind of stay away from stuff. I just kind of give my input. But this was like, and he was like, okay, this it. This it. I said, okay. He's like, go get Really though. I was like, okay. I was like, Jeff, can you go get Really? He's like, no, Jeff Basker is a Beatles level composer. He doesn't go get people. I said, okay, I'll take that. You know, I feel like we all on the same level here. Mm-hmm. So I think we sent somebody else to go get Jeff Basker, maybe Tasho Pierce or something like that. My homie Tasho, shout out Tasho, Hawaii's very own. Cold MC. I got a song with him, a couple songs with him, but he was there all the time with us playing basketball. And we started rating all the lights. And I had some weird hook, like something that wasn't as sweet as what Dream came up with. It was like, you better see the lights in here, and if I turn them on, then y'all can see me. Yeah, baby, something like that. And Dream was like, turn up the lights in here, baby. Extra bright. Want y'all to see this. I was all kind of, if you see me in the light, it will be the light of your life. And you see me, baby. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Something crazy like that. Something celebratory. He was like, nope. Super Atlanta it out. You know, it's like, Malik, get out of here because you weird. Like, you know, it's like you're a weird human, man. Like, that's not going to work. We can whittle that down and get something, but let's just do this. Turn on the lights in here, baby. Extra bright.
For y'all to see this. Now, Hype Williams came and directed the music video, right?
I'm going to talk about the music video.
that was something else. But there's the part in the beginning where there's a child, right? What was that homage to?
Yeah, just Kanye being a child and seeing things, not seeing things the way they could be in the world, and shedding light on issues and stuff. That's when he was still like kind of like exploring his revolutionary side. You know, he's still a revolutionary artist, obviously, but certain things that I think he went overboard with for my taste. For him, it's fine.
Yeah, no, I was all that anti-Semitism and all that.
Yeah, that's not.
That wasn't cool.
That's not my bag.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. Like,
yeah.
And do I think that Kanye hates Jews? But I'm from Chicago. I'm from the Southside of Chicago, bro. I could think of about literally, just in Chicago, about 2 million people that I would say I love before I got to Hitler. Even if I was the most loving person in the world, Hitler would be probably last on my list. I would name the 8 billion people on the planet and be like, and dude. And I wouldn't even say dude, but I'm saying though, I could give you another list of names that you could say you love first. So that's my thing on that. You know, I don't want to belabor that shit. That shit's whack to me. Yeah. Goofy shit to me. But you know, people say what they feel, and he had the platform to do it, and he did it, whatever. But word bond, though, word bond to Allah, G, I'm going to tell you, man, like, that nigga Dream cold. Dream special. Like, Dream is special, man. Like, Drake is special. Like, Kendrick is special. J. Cole special. I know him, Kanye and Kim and J. Cole be having their beefs and whatever. I don't care. special. Like, you got people, Eminem is special. Big Juice from Chicago, special. J.U.I. special. Rhymefest special. And Kanye was able to bring all these special people around him at a time in his life.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, Hove. Like, do we got to say that part? Do we got to say Beyonce? Do we got to say Hove and Rihanna? But I'm talking about people that you might not really understand. It's not just great artists. These are special, poignantly gifted, Saha the Prince level, Big Sean level, John Legend voice level, Travis energy. You know, these is things that are like, everyone is unique, right?
Mm-hmm.
Everyone is unique because there's only one of each one of us. But there's rare type of things that exist. And Kanye was, when he was Kanye, and even as Ye, has been able to bring, you know, being in the studio with I gotta say, I'm not being disrespectful when I say this though. Being in the studio with Tyler the Creator is one of the funniest things in my life. Because I knew Tyler years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Before the Odd Future thing, my son was in an Arrow sweatshirt video, all kind of stuff. But I asked Tyler, I said, what's your email, bro? I want to send you something. He said, same email. I said, no, it can't be the same email. I got a Gmail on you. He's like, oh, that's it. I ain't gonna say the other part of Gmail, you know, whatever. And this was a few years ago. I was like, wait a minute, you got the same Gmail? He's like, yeah. It just was like, it just made me feel so good. Like to see him as a star now from when I met him, he was a hungry kid. Like, check out my music. As controversial as it may be to say this, and I know that it's going to be controversial to say this, is that Kanye is a master architect, bro. He saw what having these people around him would do. Like, that kind of vision, to see that you needed a song with Adam Levine. Like, me and Kanye have a song with Adam Levine, that Promised Land, that we did for Barack Obama. Me, Kanye, and Adam Levine, and I think Tony Williams, maybe JV too. But it's like, to see that coming, that vision, but to also be so blinded to your own demons. But humans don't we don't like self-accuse, you know.
Mm-hmm.
In Islam, we talk about the self-accusing spirit. We don't naturally just self-accuse. So you kind of start to think, when you have success, you think everything you do is right. And it might be right for you, but it might be wrong for the current environment. You know, like, it's right to jump off of a cliff, you know, in Jamaica, but not when your 3-year-old son is watching and you swimming away and then you hear a splash. That's your 3-year-old son right there. You're like, whoa, I messed up. I set the wrong example. So in music, you know, and especially in the pantheon of music that Kanye has created and given birth to Drake, you know, and, you know, but you want the student to surpass the master. You want this, you know. Bruce Lee was training up people to be better than him. And without that, you are a failure as a leader. If the next generation is not greater than you, you failed. If the 2024 Mercedes-Benz is not better than the 2023, Mercedes-Benz has failed. That's really what it is. Hip-hop has to keep getting better and change. Sometimes that change is going to look a little bit weird to get circuitously to these new melodies and these new melodic resonance and stuff that we need. We need these things to exist. So, and also too, and I'm gonna ask you a question, Flex. I'm gonna ask you a quick question.
Let's go.
And you tell me, you know, what's wrong with giving these new rappers a chance? What's wrong with it? Oh, people gonna say immediately, oh, it's too violent. I could take you back to violent rap from my childhood that was X-rated violent.
And interesting, right? Drill music, came out of here.
Came from here.
Yeah, but now,
Fireman.
But now you got
the father of drill music.
Mm-hmm.
The father of drill, Fireman himself.
Yeah.
Did Lil Durk's first, shout out Lil Durk, shout out Fireman. Did Lil Durk's first mixtape.
Yep.
The first drill producer. Now Fireman obviously is famous with the Nelly Chopper songs and all stuff he's doing now, but it came from here. And
it's a global thing, right? In UK. UK's all drill music now.
Oh, everywhere.
There's drill music in Arabic.
Of course.
That came out of the streets of Chicago.
The streets.
So we're talking about giving, kids and rappers, a chance. How many of these kids know about their IP? Intellectual property that are given out to the world.
And it's difficult to hold it because it's so...
Especially now we got TikTok, right?
Exactly. Once it's out, it's in the world.
So
and you know what's so too? Let me say this to you too. By you being from Chicago, being a connoisseur of Chicago art and rap and so on and so forth, and you hear people all the time saying, "Oh, ain't no positive content out there." That's not true, obviously.
It's not true.
But when people say that, I want to ask them, show me your list of conscious artists that you listen to.
That's right.
While you on Instagram and TikTok, like, oh, this is bad news. I don't want to hear these women talking about their private parts. Show me the web rappers that you support that don't talk like that. I'll be on the phone with Rhapsody and I love her. You know what I'm saying? And she's having an existential crisis because it's like, she don't do that. And that's not in her nature to do that. She shouldn't have to do that. But she should have all you complainers going to flood her page. Go to Spotify. Go to Apple Music. Purchase. Support. Find her concert dates out. Where she performing, spot dates. Run up her numbers if that's what you want. Or do you want to complain? Because you can't have complaints and progress in the same place. Mm-hmm. At some point, complaints have to stop to make progress exist.
Yeah.
So.
And a lot of these kids look up to you and call you big bro, right? I mean, I've heard Vic Mensa say that quite a bit. He was on a podcast with Mike Tyson.
Oh, yeah.
That was one of the
my big bro, Mike Tyson. Yeah.
Yeah, that was the coolest conversation, ever of them kind of reflecting on you.
Yeah, it's a blessing. Yeah, but I mean, I did the streets, since I was 12 years old, I was in the street, you know what I'm saying? So surviving that gives me a certain amount of credibility. But if I could have circumvented that,
yeah.
What? If somebody would say, hey, sneak through this door. Because the gangway is not a shortcut, it's a dead end. Mm-hmm. You just have to stop before you hit the dead end. You did what you could with
your environment. It's biology.
It's biology, no question, and it's known, and it's structured like that. We don't, I'm not going to redlining and all those different things, but nevertheless, and always the more.
Which you won an Emmy for that film
Chicago
at Crossroads, talking about that.
And the CNN episode talking about that. Yep. I got an Emmy for that too. Mm-hmm. So, but it's me being a conductor of that railroad as opposed to a participant or a passenger on that train. I was able to get off that train. A lot of kids ain't able to get off that train.
That's deep. So you laid the tracks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, now
the resources, put the trains the trains on the track.
Mm-hmm. And somebody asked me at MTV one time, they said, so what do you think about Chief Keef? I said, Chief Keef is rapping at 17. I wasn't rapping at 17. Mm-hmm. What I was doing at 17, you would have wanted me to either be dead or locked up. Like, oh, Malik's the problem with America. That's what it would have seemed like. Given what I had.
And you didn't have YouTube.
I didn't have YouTube, and I didn't have a me. Mm-hmm. I didn't have a YouTube or a Yusef. Like a lot of these, they got me. They got it. Like Vic, I say Vic Mensa is who I would be if I had a me to guide me through some of the most raucous and formidable.
Chance the Rapper.
Chance, my little homie. I put him in his first studio. When one of my moles had a studio, and I put Chance in there for free to do his first mixtape. These are things that it's like
that's community building.
100%. It's the Nguzo Saba. It's the 7 principles of the Nguzo Saba. It's literally Islam in practice. It's Christianity in practice. It's Judaism in practice.
Serving humanity.
Only way.
Now, where do you see
the real religion is kindness.
Kindness, that's right.
That's the only real religion.
Right.
Everything else is just a derivative of that, how you get to your kindness.
And kindness connects.
Everything.
Yep.
Without kindness, you can't know God.
That's right.
You can't know God. You can't tell me you know God and you're
because
not God.
Allah is Rahman and Rahim.
Come on. How many times did Allah forget a Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him? How many times? How many times did he correct him? More than anybody else in the Quran. Prophet Muhammad made mistake upon mistake. Don't touch me, to the Maskeen man. What? Don't touch you? Who is you? Allah say, who? Because you got on white? Young man. Oh, I ain't gonna feed. Are you a Muslim? I can't feed you. Oh, what? Did you get fed when you was born? Was you a Muslim? Did you get fed? What are you talking about, boy? This is real. That's how we got to look at this. Yeah. You know, there's a saying.
Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, was illiterate. So yes. God delivered the final messenger, the final message to him.
You understand? We talk about this all the time. We talk about this all the time in my circles. Yeah. He was illiterate. Yeah. Because he didn't have to read. Reading was something you work all day, you move around. Reading was a chore. You got light a kerosene lamp at night or a candle at night. It wasn't no grocery store you can go get a candle from to learn to read. After your day of travel or work was done, you go to sleep. You consume food, you go to sleep for rest. Feel me? Yeah. So we are under a luxurious, version of the earth right now. Luxurious.
We're at a time of abundance.
Full.
Right. So it's important to...
The governments is making it seem like scarcity because they're controlling the resource, which is not natural.